The bob hairstyle is one of the most popular hairstyles currently. So today, we're gonna walk you through one haircut, but 3 entirely different ways to style it. And just to up the ante, we're also gonna add in different makeup looks to amplify that specific style. Now, if you're unfamiliar with me, my name is Justin Hickox. I've been doing hair since 1995. And this is my beautiful wife, Deanna. Hey. Did your voice crack?
You sound like Sid the Sloth.
You do. If you're unfamiliar with Deanna, you got to go check her out on Instagram. She shares all sorts of just real life, honest life, fitness, fun, menopause stuff.
Dog mom craziness.
She's going to walk you through 3 makeup looks that she would do for these different styles.
I am simple by nature. Make it quick, make it easy. I'm no makeup artist, but I'll show you what I do.
Okay, now for the first look, we want something just a little more relaxed, kind of a weekend look, if you will. So we're gonna be building on this style throughout to get through these 3 different looks. So for the first one, so we're gonna first spray in a little bit of a leave-in conditioner. This is gonna help protect the hair from the heat that we're about to add, as well as just from the day-to-day grind. So we'll put that in, you're gonna work that through your hair, and then we're gonna use a foundational product to give us a little bit of volume and control. Next, we're gonna add a little bit of a mousse, and this is just gonna be for volume so we can get a little bit more control out of her hair. I started it in the back here in the crown because that's where most of the hair is, rather than starting it in the front where most people wanna go and just apply 90% of the product into your bangs. And I want this on basically every hair root to end. I want it to be the roots for root volume, and I want it to be at the mid shaft to control and hold the bend that creates the actual volume, and then I want it at the ends for a little bit of control as well. Now we're gonna work that product through, comb it through, again, so that it gets mid shaft through ends, and then we're gonna start drying your hair. Now, once your hair is totally dry, we're gonna round brush it. Round brush the back, we're gonna round brush the top, and we're gonna round brush the sides. And once it's completely round brushed, and then we're just gonna take a section from the top of the head to the top of the ear, with everything behind the ear staying just round brushed or kind of straight, and then everything in front of the ear is gonna get a very slight wave. And then after you add a little bit of that wave, we're gonna mess it up a little bit to kind of break the wave up with our hands. And there you go. But now the question is, what kind of makeup do you do with this kind of look?
I got you.
Do you?
For this makeup look, I like to keep it simple. It's the no makeup look. I will first start with a tinted moisturizer with SPF. Always. Kind of concentrating most of the product to be in the center of your face and then working your way out. After that, I use a concealer kind of in a peachy tone to kind of blend out and kind of even out the dark circles. If I had like a late night, our dog came in our bed and I didn't sleep very well. Next, I do bronzer. I really love bronzer. A little bit goes a long way. So I'll apply it to my forehead and then my upper cheek, then just take a brush to blend that in. Next is blush. You can actually use a bronzer as a blush, but I really love the pop of color that blush will give you. It's cream based, which I'm all about the cream, especially for us almost 50 ladies and over. Next, I go on with the mascara, just a simple 1 coat of mascara just to kind of give my eyes a little pop, open them up a little bit. And then I am a lip gloss girl through and through. This particular one is great. It's a lip gloss. It's also plumping, so it has a little tingling effect, but not too bad. And that's it. That's all I would do. It probably takes me, easily under 5 minutes to complete this look. This is a simple, easy look.
Now, before we get into the next look, all the products that we're using are going to be linked in the description so you know what they are. However, we're going to be creating another video that we're going to be releasing next week that we're going to break down exactly what products are used and, more importantly, what we like about them and any tricks that we know about them so that you can get the best results with them. So it would have made this video way too long, so I'm splitting it up into 2 videos for you, make it a little bit easier for you to digest, but make sure you look for that video because there's a lot of little tricks in there that I think you're going to like. Okay, now for the next look, we're going to build on the style that we've already created. I don't want to get our hair completely wet because we just don't need to, but I am going to spray this a little bit of kind of a dry thickening spray on it to add a little bit of that dampness back in and give me a little bit more control. And then we're gonna take sections. Now these sections are what we call vertical sections. This means up and down, right? From the ear to the top of the head versus from the front of the head to the back of the head. And by doing that, we're gonna get a little bit more of kind of a loose wave in the overall shape. Once you add that bit of wave through, you're just gonna break it up and then add any sort of spray that you wanna spray to kind of give it a little bit of control. One thing I do want you to see in this though is if you look at the very nape, we're gonna allow this to still be straight and smooth and taper into the neck. And then just everything else we haven't already added wave, we'll go through and add a bit more wave to everything. And it actually makes the nape lay in a little bit tighter to the neck so that it actually helps to lift the eye from the profile because it's not so full at the very bottom. Style number 2, there you go. But question again, what do you do?
This is going to
be look number 2.
Ooh, that rhymes.
I know.
What?
On purpose. Game show host.
Yeah. So building on look 1, we've already got our tinted moisturizer with SPF. We also have our bronzer and a little bit of blush. Now we're going to play around with eyeshadows, which is really super fun. I've got this neutral palette, which I think is great for everybody. And what you want to do is you want to pick a mid-tone shade for your crease and a little bit of your lids. A tip for us over 40 ladies is to keep your eye open as you're applying to the crease. So because if you close your eye and then you open it, then a lot of the color can be hidden. Then I'm going to take a lighter color and I'm actually going to apply it on the inside of the eye. Since we already have our bronzer on, I like to add a little bit more blush, maybe a deeper, richer color. Then I go to the brows. And I'm really not good with drawing on my eyebrows. So Nikki LaRose, big shout out. She told me about this brow gel that's tinted. So it's kind of like a mascara for your eyebrows. So with the front part of your brow, you kind of brush up. And then as you go out, you kind of brush them out. To this look, I would add a second coat of mascara for a little bit more pop for your eyes. And then this is where I add lip liner. So I just slightly overline my lips, just barely overlining it, but I don't bring the liner to the ends of my lip because if you do, it can kind of drag us down as we get older. Everything's down. And then I actually just take my finger and I blend it in so it's not such a hard line. I'm a glossy girl. You got to add the gloss over the top. Makes it simple and easy and kind of gives you almost an instant like lip filler look, if you will. And then I end with powder. It helps set the concealer as well as reduces any shine that you may experience on, T-zone, forehead, things like that.
Then you end up with a look like this where you could easily wear this to work. You look polished, but you don't look overdone. But I also understand that there's sometimes that you want to change things up even a little bit more. And so that will take us on to look number 3. Okay, now look number 3, we're going to need to actually wet the hair down a little bit for this. I don't want to say you have to get in the shower or anything like that. Like I actually, for Deanna's hair, I just ran my hands through water and ran it through her hair until it felt just kind of was like damp. And then we just combed it all out, brushed it all out. Now we're going to add back in some more mousse just to give it a little bit more volume. Now, because I didn't shampoo her hair, none of the other product that was already pre-existing has been really rinsed out because I added such a small amount of water. So we are building on the product that we've already been using throughout the day. So we're going to put that back in, work it from mid shaft all the way through ends, get a little bit at the roots as well. And then we're going to start drying her hair. Now at this point, once we get it basically dry, we're gonna take a flat iron and start flat ironing this straight. So we're gonna start in the back and the very nape area, this right here, I'm gonna not try to get a lot of bend in it. I'm just gonna try to get a very slight amount of bend so we get a lot of control, but not a lot of volume. I want this to lay pretty tight to the back of the neck. One of the things we wanna pay attention to is we're not trying to get a bunch of wave and bend, anything like that in this look, but we do want a little bit of bend so it's not board straight, just to give it a little bit of shape. Oh. God dang it, dude. Because we're adding a lot of product throughout the day in this and we're building up on it, if you don't like the texture of product in your hair, a lot of times I like to add just a very small amount of a really light oil. It's nothing heavy, something that feels very kind of water-based. Work it through my hands and then work that through mid-shaft and the ends. It'll make your hair feel softer. On top of that, if you want a little bit more shine, because a lot of times products that give your hair a lot of volume can make it look a little bit more dull, spray shines can work really well to kind of add in a little bit of that shine without adding hold or anything else to it. Now what we're going to do to create the look is just tuck it behind one ear, and then at the very end you can spray in a little bit of a spray or like a hairspray, something with some control out of it, just to kind of lay down any flyaways to really kind of smooth that out, make that nice and sleek. And then aside from that, we move into the look.
Okay, so we're building off of looks 1 and 2. For this evening look, I probably would have opted for a foundation versus a tinted SPF, something that maybe had a little bit more coverage, like a medium coverage, something that has more stay power. Then we're gonna apply more eyeshadow. We're gonna go with darker tones, picking something that's still a little bit safe and then building on it. So you can start lighter and add a little bit more as you go. Now we're gonna add that darker, kind of deeper, richer, sexier shade, almost in a sideways V shape, if you will, and then just blending until it looks right for you. The next tip is we're gonna do that eyeliner trick that I shared in look 2, but this time we're gonna pick a deeper, darker color. We're actually gonna use a setting spray to spray 3 pumps onto the brush, and then again, we're just gonna stamp that on. I already have mascara on. I'm just gonna take the lash curler over the top. I'm just gonna give it 10 little squeezes on each, and then I will apply another coat of mascara. Now I'm going to apply concealer to the under eye to catch any fallout and to clean up any mistakes that I made. Concealer is really great for that because it's kind of like a magic eraser for your eyes. Next, I'm actually going to take a bronzer, but this time instead of the cream bronzer that we used in look 1 and 2, I'm actually going to use a powder bronzer, so it adds a little bit more color. Now blush. I'm all about blush for an evening look. I actually want a little bit of glow and a little bit of luminosity, so this particular blush that I'm applying over the first blush actually has those little sparkles in them, so it kind of creates that glow that's really nice for evening. So I'm going to take a brown lip liner that you can actually also use for your eyes, and I'm going to slightly overline the lip, and that's going to kind of help contour a little bit of your lips, if you will. And then I'm going to follow with a deeper color gloss. But again, I'm all about lip glosses because they're so forgiving, and especially if you're going out, you don't have to actually look in the mirror and make sure you're getting it right. You just slap it on, blend it in, and then we'll round out the look by again adding any powder to set the concealer to remove any shiny spots. And then there you go. That's your evening look.
And now you have a look that is different than all of the other looks, completely different. It's the most different of all the other looks.
Oh yeah.
But it's got a very kind of polished and strong edge. So 3 different looks. Same Bob. We want to know what your favorite look was, so comment below and let us know. Now, if you want to know specifically what tools and products we used in this video, and much more importantly, any tips and tricks that we know to get you the best results with them, why don't you go ahead and watch this video right there, and we'll see you over there.